All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone. And Shalom to the Akim out there preaching his word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Shamar coming back with another lesson. And in this lesson, I wanted to speak on how, World War III is really being being escalated right now, with all the different things going on. You've been having the conflict with, Israel and Palestine, and then now, as well as America with Russia, America with China, North Korea, and now you having more conflict blow up out there in the Middle East. With the things that's been going on recently. All right, with these Yemen strikes, like this article is going into. All right, so all these different things going on now. We're basically already in World War III without it being announced at this point. Because attacks are happening on other countries' lands, and war is escalating, even though they're not mentioning it to the American people like that. These things are going on, man. All right, so World War III is pretty much here right now. It just hasn't been declared as a full blown out war yet, man. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article and then hit some precepts. So as you can see, the title of it says U.S.-led Yemen strikes escalate Middle East conflict. And it says attacks against the Houthi targets in Yemen spearheaded by the U.S. only serve to intensify the conflict in the Middle East. And this is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because that's where that's where it's going to take place at, man, out there in the Middle East, man. All the nations are going to basically participate. You're seeing it, the different countries, these different nations getting involved. All right. And it says this was the opinion of True News host Rick Wiles and Dr. Raymond Doc Buckhart. The latter cited a news story from military.com about the retaliatory strikes carried out by the U.S. military and its allies in Yemen. According to the piece, the strikes followed many months of drone and missile attacks by the Iran-backed Houthis that have threatened merchant shipping in the Red Sea. So this is going to mess up business, mess up economies as well. And that's what they're going to more than likely blame it on when things collapse over here, saying, point the finger at something else, blame it on whatever, when it was already through anyway. But it just goes into a little bit. I'm going to jump down to the second part. But right here it says a senior military official told reports on January 11th that the U.S. and the United Kingdom directed strikes launched from aircraft, ships, and submarines against the Houthi rebels. So they started it, and then you got them backing them. And eventually they're going to turn on America as well. Those those other nations that in the part of the NATO, NATO and the EU. But you see them already getting involved, starting to get involved. On the second part, it says the U.S.-led strikes only strengthened the Yemenis' resolve. The Yemen's Houthi rebels responded defiantly to the U.S.-led strike against them, saying that the attacks had failed to cause significant damage and that they remained undeterred from launching more attacks in the region. It says the strikes and fresh promises of retaliation threatened to escalate months-long violence in the Middle East into a much broader conflict and turned the Red Sea into a new flashpoint between Washington and the various Iran-backed groups arrayed across the region. And then I want to read another point down here before I start hitting the precepts. It says, the last little two parts. Wiles said he had never really paid attention to the military strength of Yemen until recently. The nation's arsenal, which includes ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones, are mostly made with Iranian equipment or components. One such ballistic missile in Yemen's arsenal is called a Typhoon, which has a range of about 1,200 miles. Meanwhile, Buckhart admitted to initially assuming that Yemen was a poor country with little to no military strength. This is despite the country being in conflict with Saudi Arabia for a decade now. He added that the Houthis have been steadily developing their military capabilities since 2014 when they seized the Yemeni capital, Sana'a. And the first precept I wanted to read is in Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong." And that's just what the article is going into at the end of it, right? He assumed that they were a poor country and that they didn't have the capability to be able to fight in battle. But you see that it says they've been developing themselves since 2014, as well as having help from getting military help from Iran, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it said that. Yeah, yep. It said they are made with Iranian equipment, so they working with Iran, man. As well as they've been developing their, their things for war, to get ready for war. That's why it says breach your pruning hooks into spears, because that's for agriculture, the pruning hooks. And they're creating spears, which is symbolic of them building weapons, because that's the modern day spear or the modern day sword, are the different weapons and things they have now, man. So you're seeing these countries, while everybody been assuming that this country is poor, they don't have the military strength, they can't do this and that. They've been doing business with each other, helping each other build up, because they have a common enemy, man. And ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushua been putting the spirit on them to do so for that special day, which is the day that, World War III. All right. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." And that's where you see them gathering at, where they keep the so-called Middle East, man. And it's the reason that all the tension keeps building up over there, because that's where the valley of Yahweh Shaphat is going to be at, man. All right. All the nations are going to go to war in that main point. And you're seeing it take place right in front of you, man. The article going into it. And if you've been paying attention, you've been seeing these things happening, because these different nations that are getting into these different little skirmishes or battles or whatever, it's not like they're not backed by anybody. All right. The Yemenis are backed by Iran. Iran's backed by who? They got Russia with them. I'm pretty sure North Korea would side with them. All right. And they all have a common enemy, which is who? Those small hats in America, ultimately. And then the NATO and the EU, they're going to turn on America as well, because them getting involved in the conflict is going to affect them as well. But you're seeing the prophecies taking place, man. All right. This is Revelation 11:14. It says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." And you're seeing that it happening, man. All right, the third woe, World War III, is coming quickly. Because it's just been rumors, like scripture say in Matthew, the 24th chapter, wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. All right, you've been hearing about these rumors for a long time. Now you're seeing the text starting to take off, man. And that's the act of war. You sitting here bombing another country is literally an act of war. And then what do you have the people out here in America doing? They're so docile, and they don't even pay attention to the news. All right. On top of them being docile, they don't even pay attention to what's going on. So when these things escalate to a full blown out war, it's going to catch them as a thief in the night, man. No one has a clue of what's actually taking place, man, with the current events. And this is deadly serious. You bombing another country, they totally justify bombing you back now. Because wouldn't America do that if they were attacked by anyone? They would go all out, all out on that country, bombing them back. So what do you think these other nations or these other countries are going to do, man? All right, like I said, it's ultimately the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He's stirring all that up to lead up to that big war, World War III, which is going to be a lot of judgment taking place, man, when those missiles get shot off. All right, because this isn't like the old battles, man, where I'm going to get the precept for. All right. Even, the old battles like in the movies 300 and stuff where it was just swords, arrows, stuff like that. Even like in the older wars in World War I where it was like cannons, guns, you had to have the, the man-to-man combat like right there in front of you. Now, with the way the technology is, you having drones, missiles, rocket launchers. So you don't even have to be face-to-face no more. All right. This is Isaiah 9:5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." Yeah, and how's that burning of fuel of fire is going to come, man? All right, by those nuclear missiles. You seen in the article it mentioned, it said that one of the Yemenis missiles could do like 1,200 meters or 1,200 miles. That's a lot, and that's not even a nuclear missile. That's just like, what is a ballistic missile, not even a nuclear missile, man. So you see how this is being fought. The battle is going to be fought with burning and fuel of fire, man. And then it's going to ultimately lead up to what? The everybody just pressing the button, man. All right. Because it's going to get to a certain point where everyone's going to hit that button and shoot the missiles off, man. And ain't no turning back at that point. That's all through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that things are leading up to that point anyway. And like I said, the people here have no clue what's going on. You never hear in general conversation amongst people, wherever you may be at, when you're at work or you're at the store or whatever, you never hear anyone talking about this. Even the people that's so-called protesting for the Palestine and Israel situation, they don't even understand the how serious this matter that this is, man. They don't know what the hell is going on. They just protesting. But things are deadly serious, man. All right. But this is Habakkuk 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And that's what you see going on now, man. All right. From the apostles on down, all right. The brother's been talking about World War III and all these different things escalating and getting ready to take place out there in the so-called Middle East, man. And now you're seeing these things happen. Nobody was believing that World War III would happen or other countries would come up against America. They thought America was big and bad. Well, now you're seeing how weak they really are, man. How weak America really is. These other nations, they've been building themselves up while America's just been getting weaker. All right. And the prophecies are speaking, man. At one point in time, it was tarrying, and now things are just kind of consistently happening at a faster rate, man. And the year just started. We still in the first month of the year, of the so-called new year, And you got all this stuff taking place, man. As well as this year being the year for so-called elections. So a lot of things is happening already, man, and more things are going to continue to happen as the time goes on. Because these are the times that we living in, man, where the prophecies are speaking. Hey, so with that, I'm going to wrap up and give all praises again to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone. And Shalom, Tada Akim out there preaching his word in truth, sincerity. Shalom.